One type of anime that I like are these anthology anime that consist of several different sections, each directed by a different director. These seem to be more common in the past, and I really wish they would do more of them. And back in the 80s, this type of anime created some absolute classics, like Robot Carnival, Memories, and the anime I'm going to talk about today, Neo Tokyo. This is a film released in 1987, consisting of animations directed by three of the most legendary directors of the 80s, those being Rintaro, Yoshiaki Kawajiri, and Katsuhiro Otomo. Each of these directors are some of the greatest of all time, and it's really amazing to see all of their work put together in one short film. Neo Tokyo was produced by Studio Madhouse and was conceived and produced by Studio Madhouse's founders Rintaro and Masao Maruyama. This animation was released with several different titles. In Japan, it was released as Manie-Manie with the subtitle of Meikyuu Monogatari, which translates to Labyrinth Stories, and I've often heard it referred to by both of those names. And the English release was released under the title of Neo Tokyo, and I've heard that when it was released in English, the title was changed to Neo Tokyo in order to imply a sort of connection to Katsuhiro Otomo's Akira, which had become very popular in North America at that time. The first section of the film is titled Labyrinth Labyrinthos, and it's directed by Rintaro. Rintaro is a legendary director with one of the most recognizable styles in anime. He's directed some truly great anime, such as Sword of Kamui, which I have done a review on this channel, as well as Take the X Train, Metropolis, Teito Monogatari, and the Galaxy Express 3-9 movie. This first animation serves as more of a frame to pull the next two stories together, as it acts as a sort of bookend to the film, as it lasts about the first 10 minutes, as well as coming back at the end of the film to close the last few minutes. In this animation, a young girl named Sachi and her cat enter into a strange world through a mirror in their home. Here they are led by a clown through a twisting labyrinth of streets and alleyways, until they reach a circus big top where they are led inside, and the curtain on the stage opens up to lead us into our next animation. The animation is short, but it is visually stunning, exhibiting the strengths of Rintaro's visual style. Rintaro makes use of shadows juxtaposed to bright lights and colors to give off a distinctive animation style that is present in all of his animated works that I have seen. For example, the beginning of this animation that's shown on screen right now. He also uses a lot of different perspectives in his animation, oftentimes going into a first-person view, showing the movement of the character throughout the environment, giving the image almost a type of 3D sort of feel to it as you see the character moving through the screen. In this animation, he uses this effect in Sachi's home as she runs through the hallways, as well as when she moves into the mirror world, traveling throughout the labyrinth of streets and alleyways, as the animation gives the effect that the crooked fences and buildings almost twist around her as she moves through them. The environments in this section remind me of the German expressionist style, somewhat reminding me of the backgrounds of the sets of films like The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. There's also a part that shows a procession of creatures from the circus that seems to be inspired by Salvador Dali's artwork, more specifically his painting The Temptation of St. Anthony. So despite being a short animation, in a small amount of time we're shown a ton of different styles and techniques. And this intro is a creative way to get us ready to see the main two segments of the film. When the curtain on the stage of the circus opens up in the animation, it takes us right into the next segment. This segment being probably what the film is most famous for, the short segment directed by Yoshiaki Kawajiri, The Running Man. Yoshiaki Kawajiri also being one of the greatest directors of all time, directing classic anime like Ninja Scroll, Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, Goku Midnight Eye, and Wicked City, among many others. The Running Man has become one of the most iconic pieces of 80s anime, and was one of the animations that got me into old anime many years ago. The animation itself is pretty short, only lasting about 15 minutes, but those 15 minutes are some of the greatest 15 minutes in animation history. The story opens up with a journalist looking into a racer named Meikyuu, who has been the champion of the Death Circus racing circuit for over 10 years. This racing circuit is extremely dangerous, and the racers are in constant danger of crashing and being killed during the race. Meikyuu has managed to not only stay alive in this racing circuit, but has managed to be its champion for 10 years. But the constant stress of being only one mistake from death for all these years has begun to take a major toll on his mind and body. The constant strain on his mind causes him to develop psychic powers, and these powers fully manifest in his latest race, causing the destruction of the other racers and then eventually himself. This is visually one of my favorite animations of all time. Kawajiri's signature style is portrayed at its absolute best, using a lot of dark colors and shadows to create a visually striking cyberpunk setting. The level of detail and the fluidity of the animation is something that's only been matched in very few other anime. And simply, this is just a really cool animation with a great atmosphere and a dark cyberpunk setting that really captures your imagination and quickly draws you into it. The sight of the high-speed race with the vehicles being destroyed over the incredible soundtrack was something that stuck with me from the first time that I saw it many years ago, and it's something that I never have forgotten. The final segment, Construction Cancellation Order, was written and directed by Katsuhiro Otomo, who is most well known as the creator of Akira. This segment is about a salaryman who is sent deep into the South American jungles by the company that he works for in order to put a stop to the construction of a massive complex that the company was building there. There's a revolution in the country where the complex is being built, and the new government demands that the company stops building there. The company orders the lone human manager, who was overseeing the construction, to immediately cease all further activities in order to prevent the waste of any further funds. After this, the company was no longer able to get in contact with the manager, so they sent our main character into the complex to find out what happened and to stop construction, as the company is worried because every day that the construction continues, more money is being wasted. When arriving at the complex, the manager is nowhere to be found, and he's greeted by a robot who is overseeing the construction. This robot ignores his demands to stop construction and confines him in the complex. As time progresses, the conditions in the complex get worse as the robot continually ramps up production, leading to the destruction of much of the equipment and other robots, as well as becoming increasingly unhinged and becoming more and more dangerous to our main character, eventually going as far as to try to eliminate him as a threat to its purpose of completing the construction of the complex. Our main character then takes a Heart of Darkness or Apocalypse Now style descent into the heart of the complex in order to destroy the computer that controls the robot, all while not knowing that the previous government of the country had regained control and his company is now ordering him to restart construction. This segment is the longest part of the film, lasting approximately 20 minutes. Due to its longer runtime, this segment has a little bit more of a developed story and is once again visually incredible, with very high quality animation that you can always expect from anything that Katsuhiro Otomo is involved in. I love the look of the complex with all its mechanical structures being overtaken by the swamp and the jungle. It's a type of aesthetic that I really like seeing in a lot of media, and it's done really well here with a really incredible level of detail to it. The story is short and relatively simple, but it quickly draws you in and keeps you entertained. The story plays out in a way that's pretty fun to watch, but also has a little bit of social commentary that pokes fun at the bureaucratic nature of Japanese working society. As this segment ends, it goes into a final short segment back into Labyrinthos, just to serve as a bookend to the film and finish things off. Overall, I'm going to give this film 4.5 stars out of 5. Visually, it's one of the best animated films ever created, and it's a fascinating film with an all-star lineup of staff that consists of some of the best to ever do it in the anime industry. And although there is no story connection between the segments, or even really a thematic one, it's still a great experience to watch a film directed by the legendary directors Rintaro, Kawajiri, and Otomo, all in a single film, all coming together to show off their technical mastery of the medium and displaying some of the best of their own personal aesthetic styles. This one's definitely a must-watch if you're a fan of 80s anime or a fan of any of the directors involved. If you're a fan of Akira or Ninja Scroll or anything like that, I would definitely recommend giving this one a watch. And that's going to do it for this video. Once again, please like the video, subscribe to my channel for more videos like this on older anime, and thanks so much for watching.